games. These two guys. Oh, here we go. Hey, good evening and welcome to Sunday Night Disc Golf Chat. I'm Santa.
And I am the Brain, and another exciting another exciting half hour of chat here with Callan from Pine Hills Disc Golf Course, and we have Mr. Greg Beavers in the background back there. So we're going to do a session on Pine Hills. Good evening, Callan.
Good evening, Callan. Thanks for taking the time to hang with us tonight.
Yeah, I'm happy to be on. I'd like to get back out and play Marlette.
I'd like to get out there and play Pine Hills. Looks like you guys got a great course. I was kind of, spying, if you will, and looking at your webpage and everything. And you are a pay-to-play site, and you are on a ball golf. I hate using that word regular. Sorry. And you are also on a ball golf course. So let's start with that. Let's start with some of the challenges a disc golf course has being next to ball golfers.
Probably the biggest issue between, the games are the same, but one of the differences of play is that if you lose a disc, you're going to try really hard to get it back. So we're around a wetlands, and we've had some players that'll take a lot of time to try and get the disc, and if there isn't communication with the ball golfers behind them or that sort of thing, then people might be too kind, and then the game backs up. Or you might not be able to contact somebody who's kind of in the wetlands, so you don't know what to do. So we've tried to really push the disc golfers to leave the discs behind. We've got a lost and found system I try to call on once or twice a month and get them back to the players.
Yeah, just a matter of communicating that to the golfers while they're going out to the field. And I know it's hard to leave that $20 piece of plastic behind.
Yeah.
But if it being a private course, you do have the advantage of having, you're not going to have a lot of people in there fishing. So
right.
If you know going in that you're going to get that back at some point in time, that definitely, and to keep the ball, keep moving and.
Well, what we've had some players do is hang out in the clubhouse for a while until the traffic is down. And after we close, go out. We've got a little paddle boat out there. We've got a disc gator in the clubhouse. Oop, lost some video with Brian there.
I can still hear you, so keep going.
All right. So for the most part, we're courteous and accommodating to try and let people get their discs back sort of after play hours. And that's been successful, but I think our box is about 30 discs right now that I've still got to call on whenever we start. I guess tomorrow.
Well, you know what? That's kind of a coincidence because I've lost, I think, about 30 discs there. So I'll stop by tomorrow morning and pick those up.
Well, a lot of times, because we're kind of a destination course, a lot of the lost and found discs are people more than 2 hours away. And we've got about 5 discs over on the used rack. I can spin you around here. That's kind of the pro shop back there.
Need to work on that, Callan.
Well, the dartboard, I think, is going to drop this year, and it'll have an expansion for the disc golf side. Nobody played darts, so.
Yeah, Greg's back there nodding his head. So
try to get more brands in here. Yep.
Ours is pretty small right now. We're going to be getting more.
And the clubhouse hasn't officially opened, so that little spin wasn't a good representation of when we officially open.
That leads me to another question. Actually, two questions. One, is that exclusively a disc golf clubhouse, or is that open for everybody? Then ball golfers as well.
This is basically a traditional ball golf clubhouse. The disc golf was added in 2014. And the course opened in 61. Was the founding year. Yep. Family course, so it's been going a long time.
How much track do you guys normally get in there during your peak months?
Well, for the total for disc golf, we had almost 3,000 rounds. I'm not sure what we had for ball golf. If Greg has a figure, 16.
Oh.
Yeah,
Wow.
16,000.
So you got a lot of heavy traffic coming through there.
We had about 3 ball golf courses, maybe 4, in about a 20-mile radius that did close down around us. There were just a lot of family courses that kind of went away. But I think that's kind of bumped traffic here a bit.
Yeah, we've had the same thing happen out in our area. A lot of
Out of Marlette.
well,
No, not Marlette.
I'm more in Macomb. We had Wolverine. We had a few that were just bought out and put subdivisions in, beautiful pieces of property, but they're all privately owned and just couldn't sustain.
Right. You can make more money in real estate, so a lot of people don't see it as a family community investment. That's one thing I really appreciate that Greg does. He's very community focused, and this is for the community.
It seems like your course is. And I looked at the map on Google Maps. Your course is almost as big as the city.
That's
over
about
there.
right, actually. Langsburg is small, but it was a landfill originally, so there's a lot of elevation out there, and it's
Nice.
been landscaped for decades, and it's gorgeous now.
Nice. You said that your course was a destination.
Definitely. So we've had a couple people come out for like their bachelor party. We've had people come from out of state just to play with golf carts. People come, we're very close by Sleepy Hollow. The Sleepy Hollow State course is about 5 minutes away from us.
Oh, nice.
15 minutes on the drive, yeah. So people will camp out there and kind of do like a weekend with their friends, and that's kind of a destination for them too. And we're kind of the premium experience to like the state park over there.
I think you just planned my summer vacation.
Yeah, that's one thing I'd like to try to get in contact with some of the people that do the travel agencies for disc golf, and they've got like the vacation lists, ideal destinations for your vacation. I've seen a couple of those circulate.
Well, hopefully we can get you drum up some more business for you out here. I mean, I know you guys have only been open for we're going on 3 years. It's first time I heard about it was with Greg and Jeremy Johnson donating.
Okay.
And I, last year was but I'm going to get out there this year for sure. And now that you say you can camp out at Sleepy Hollow, I'll plan my guys' weekend around there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Brian, here's a crazy idea. Why don't we once we get a good following, let's plan a Santa in the Brain outing to Pine Hills Disc Golf Club and have all 3 of our fans come out there with us.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, about 50 of the viewers, get 3 of them.
We're up
I
to
think you
30.
guys will get more viewers though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So another thing that we've grappled with here in Marlette, and I'm sure you've grappled with as well, is the pay-to-play stigma. And, you've often heard, well, we don't have to pay for it. There's public courses. But what has been your responses out there? And just talk to me.
So in my observation, being the attendant here, and in my opinion, we have a lot of disc golf courses that are free and 2 that are being installed this year. There is a pretty big demand in the Owasso, Shiawassee area, and we get a lot of the Lansing traffic as well. So I think that there are people that are just fed up waiting at a course. And another big draw is that we have functional restrooms that are open as long as we are. So that's
You mean
a big draw
besides the
for
train?
women, though. Well, if you're trying to go out and have a round of fun with your friends, and that includes women, that's a complication at the state park where there isn't a restroom for them to go, especially if they're drinking alcohol. So that is a big advantage to having a clubhouse. I don't think anybody really gives us flack out here, and for having as many rounds as we did last year, everybody was pretty happy.
Okay.
We had a couple, I think there were a couple people bit more into the libations that we're frustrated with some weights or a couple of things that are regular to ball golf as well.
Yeah. And I looked at your website, and what does it cost to do a round with a cart out there?
$10 with one round, right?
$12 for 18, 20 for 36.
$12 for 18, 20 for 36.
And that's, we had a course out here that was on Sunnybrook, that was on a local golf course that just closed down recently, unfortunately. And I'll tell you, it was like to play a round of 18 out there, it was $25. So comparably, that's to pay $12 or 20 for 36 holes to go on a well-maintained course that you have the amenities that you do have.
On the weekends, we have cart service. We'll have people come out and vend you food or drinks right where you are.
And that's amazing. You can't beat that out on something that's going to have,
a municipal course doesn't compete. And I think that if you watch the demographics, we're kind of at an exponential point where we need to start getting more places to play because there's a lot of waiting on municipal courses. If you see people out there that have the $500 carts, they're probably gonna pay for a round out here, not to wait and have the amenities.
Correct, and to have that type of length. I mean, we've had a lot of discussion on these groups that we don't have a lot of pro style courses out there. That you go up there and you're throwing 300 to 350 feet. You're driving your approach shot and you're putting, and to have the real estate in order to go out there and actually shoot a couple 900-foot holes, 700-foot holes is just it's a rarity, and there's plenty of people out there that want to play on those type of courses.
Definitely.
So hey, Callan, I was noticing you got a tournament coming up on April 15th, the Coordinators Cup. What's that all about?
So our state coordinator for the PDGA is Mark Stevens. He's hosting a tournament out here. It's an $80 buy-in. You're going to get a cart. I think that includes the meal as well.
I think so, 36.
Yep, and 36 holes. So it's a pretty good deal, and you've got cash payouts, a couple divisions. It's on the disc golf scene.
Awesome. Is this the first annual, second annual?
It's his first annual for the Coordinators Cup. We're going to have a second annual invitational out here as well next year, and a few of the unsanctioned events. Unsanctioned events kind of draw more of the amateurs and more people casually, but that is another advantage to being on the ball golf course out here. If you do a sanctioned event, you're going to need insurance, which we privately carry, and the PGA won't have to provide. So that's another big advantage. Hopefully we can get the bids next year.
Okay. So how many unsanctioned tournaments you got scheduled out there this year?
I believe just the two right now.
Stevens and Lontine.
Yep, Steven and Lontine.
All right. What's the second one all about?
Dave Lontine is a disc artist. He's done the Death by Disc series.
Okay, yeah.
He's hosting an invitational out here. I'm not sure how much more detail there is yet.
Usually he invites people to play.
I don't think, it's not on disc golf scene, but I think it's for his customers, and some of the things work out like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, last year I think we had.
I don't know if we have a date for it yet either.
60 to 70 players last year.
I thought it was 72. I thought we had the full.
72, so it's pretty good size.
Awesome.
But for the unsanctioned side, we'd like to do a couple more of the beginner events. We did the MVP circuit. I'd like to do maybe the Birdie Bash for Vibram or the Ace Race for Discraft. What's the one that Innova runs?
Well, you got the Trilogy Challenge that does, the West Side Latitude.
Okay. Yep.
They do that. That runs through the summer event. I don't know if Innova's got.
I haven't heard of Innova having one.
Okay. But we'd like to get our major selling brands, so Definitely dynamic and latitude. The Trilogy Challenge is something to look at.
Awesome.
All right, man. So is there anything else you wanted to tell us about the course?
About the course, I'd say bring your arm, some discs you don't care about losing if you're going to try and challenge the wetlands or some of the ponds. Try to plan for a good 4 hours out here if you want to get all 36. Sometimes if you're playing with a group, it's 4 hours just for the 18. I mean, our south course is getting close to 7,000 feet.
8,000.
It's almost 8,000 feet.
Yeah, I just looked at that stat. I'm like, it's a long course.
It's a walk, and there's a lot of elevation, especially on the south side. So bring a lunch or money for the clubhouse here. We usually sell hot dogs and some deli sandwiches. There is a Subway in Langsburg, a couple bars, but it is kind of a small country town. So about the only place to stay is camping out at Sleepy Hollow or going over to DeWitt.
Gotcha. Now, how far out of Lansing? I mean, I've looked at a map. You're probably about a half hour outside of Lansing, somewhere in there.
About 25 minutes. If you're leaving like 127 and you take the 69 over to Langsburg exit, it takes me about 25 minutes. So hopefully we can get some more traffic from Lansing. And one of the areas that might pan out is I'm a student at LCC. I'd like to try and start a disc golf club there. Also, the MSU Disc Golf Club is kind of looking for where they should go. I think they've taken down the disc golf course on campus officially. So that might be another area where we could get some collegiate golfers out here through the PDGA sanctioned events and that sort of thing. Central Michigan University is also, they've started courses. You can get credit out there in phys ed for disc golf.
That's all my brother-in-law went to. I introduced it to him. He went back up to school at Central, and they actually took a disc golf course
He
at
went back to
Central
school
Michigan.
just for disc golf.
And then he came back down here, and he's been kicking my butt ever since. So,
Oh, wow. Maybe I should look at the courses.
That's what I was just thinking too.
Anything else about the course? We're accommodating. We try to get as ADA compliant as possible. We've got a little handicap thing for carts if you wanted to try and come out, and we can accommodate you. I play out here with a service animal. I'm visually handicapped. I'm blind in my right eye. So even just throwing forehand shots, I can't throw backhand. I can still make all of these distances, so don't be too shy.
what's your course record out there?
I think on the north side we had a -12, -8, and that was probably set during our club championship on the south side. Or no, they didn't play south side, so it was just north side. So I'm not sure who set the record on the south side right now.
What about you? What's your average out there?
My average is right about par. I can shoot under. My best is a -6. So I'm more of a doubles partner than I am a full competitor.
That still sounds pretty solid to me.
That puts me to shame.
For the course, I've gotten a couple birdies on the par 5, which I don't know how I've done, but I've done that this winter, and I'm really happy about that.
So I find it amazing that being blind in one eye, coming out there, especially being right-handed, being blind in your right eye. What made you kind of get into disc golf with having that handicap and kind of persevering through that?
Well, it was actually something while I was going through the disability and bankruptcy process. I had to foreclose a house. I was kind of in a legal limbo where I wasn't covered by unemployment in a scenario that now is covered, but it resulted in me losing my home, income while I was trying to get the disability. So that was a low income time in my life. And disc golf, there's a lot of municipal courses where you can basically just walk around and pick up a disc that you find. And after about a couple months, I had a bag of found discs, and I was able to play with no money. it was really a challenge for me. But you know, if you're on disability, which I have been since 2011, you don't have a lot of income either, and you've got a lot of time. So it's a good sport to play that's slow pace, but you're walking a lot of distance. I have a service animal. He plays with me, so I gotta keep him in shape too. But it is very challenging, and it's also a gauge for me to notice if my symptoms are in decline or not.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, that is the big draw to disc golf. I know that's why part of the reason where I got into this instead of going the ball golf route. No offense, Greg, but
Well, I don't think we really want starters out here.
I was just one of those things where it's just like, you know what? I'm gonna go to River Bends. I got my buddies gave me a few discs to go out there and throw, and it was something I could do every day. After work, before work, if I didn't have a job, didn't matter. I can just go out there and just throw it, and spend 4 hours out in the course.
I was actually really fortunate when I was beginning. I had made friends with a retailer, so I'm a sponsored player from Kevin Waring's Disc Golf, kwsdiscgolf.com.
Nice.
And for a long time, I would just kind of hand out business cards for him on the course and try to work out the sponsorship for discs, and that was a way to grow the sport and still get some experience for myself.
That's awesome, man. You know, I guess my story is a little different. I'm not going to go into mine because you hear me every week, but I got into disc golf for the same reason. My disability took me away from a lot of the sports that I used to play. When I was introduced to this in July, that was it. I've been hook, line, and sinker into this sport. Just not only the sport itself, but the people. I mean, it's a great sport with a lot of strange cats, but cats that I would give my shirt for because they're just great people.
A lot of nice people. I think it's anybody on the course is there by choice. It's, you could stay at home, you could do something else, but if you're spending your time to have fun and you're there in company with other people doing the same, that's a good way to relate.
Correct. Yep.
Well, anything else, Callan? Anything else you want to chit-chat about?
Let's see. Oh, yeah, that would be a point to bring up. Course design. If the sport continues to grow at the rate that it is, almost doubling every year, you're going to need to see it grow kind of like basketball did. And basketball, I think, is a good model for seeing it in a municipal setting, becoming very popular, competitive, getting a professional governing body, and then touring players. Basically, basketball is a great example of how to take our sport professional. And where the sister sport is ball golf. So if you can get out to your local ball golf course and talk about course design, they may be interested. It could be a source of revenue. It definitely was out here. A lot of the courses that have given any data about their business, it's also profitable for them, usually in the first year. But we've got some people that are contacting us to try and see how they could design their course or get it going there for their ball golf course. And I'd love to see the sport expand professionally, as well as, like I said, we've got 2 municipal courses that are coming in this year right around us, in Bath and in Owasso. So we got to kind of bring the options to the table for people to, have a full meal.
Well, yeah, exactly. And is there? If I don't know if we can provide it on our page, but if there's, let's say if I got a course right up on Lakeville Road that's a smaller ball golf course. If I brought that up to them, could I? You provide us with some information so they can contact you, see how you did, things like that.
Yep, Greg is kind of kicking around some ideas about consulting for other courses and helping.
We've had people from Canada contact me, the United Kingdom's contacted me, probably 3 or 4 different states, and about 4 different people in the state of Michigan. I'm more than happy to help. Advice and statistics are free. I'm more than willing to do some more, help with layouts if they need to. The biggest thing that you got to watch out for from a disc golf ball. Actually, I had a threesome came out yesterday. 2 ball golfers and 1 disc golfer, and they played together.
Oh, nice.
And they said it was a perfect match. They didn't hold each other up. It flows well with them, and it flows well with, when intermixing the 2 sports together. That's probably the most important thing, because if it's not done right, it's going to fail very fast, and you're going to have a lot of upset people. And too. So
Yeah,
I'm more than happy to help with that. Anything to help the sport grow. That's the reason why we got into it.
Yeah, the liability
Awesome.
at a private course is definitely a different scenario than the municipal setting. So course design for safety and flow is very important.
Okay.
Very important.
Very cool. So you
All right,
guys had, sorry, go ahead, John.
No, you go ahead, the brain.
All right. So kind of working on the last couple minutes here. Now, I know you guys have got a couple unsanctioned events going on this year. Kind of briefly talked about this in the pre-game. All right, what are your plans for the future? You have a lot of length. You have 36 holes. Are there plans to set up some really? You could host a very nice, probably A-rated sanctioned event out there, and actually get some pros out there. If you're talking about elevation, hazards, distance. So do you have any plans for next year or the next coming years to host some type of larger sanctioned events?
Well, we're still taking baby steps and getting more comfortable with that. This year, I think the North course will be redesigned a little bit, and we're going to add tee pads to the whole course. So that's one thing that we have, nice fairways for tee pads right now, but we should have some nice tee pads soon.
Gotcha.
After that, really just working on parking and coordinating a place for people to stay if they're gonna come in, and like I said, there's no hotel or motel here in Lanesburg, so we've got to work with somebody in DeWitt to try and get a discount for people to stay over if they're gonna do a 2-day event. But 2018 is definitely a spot where we could start putting the bids in and maybe see some tournaments.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I would say our ultimate goal would be to get national world events. That's what's ultimate.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I should say it's. I'm looking forward to getting out there this summer. It's just looking at the layout and seeing the technicality along with the length. I'm like, why? They can get a major out here. Come on, let's do it.
Easily. It's a great location, and kind of being in a small town, I think it would be nice for people to visit and get a different kind of sense of Michigan versus going to Grand Rapids.
You see a lot of the stuff that they talk about with some of the St. Jude stuff that they do with the DGA, and they get into these smaller towns where they have the larger courses, and they shut those towns down just for disc golf, and it's a huge massive event. So
yeah, I really liked the coverage for the Glass Blown Open. That's an event that I would like to see modeled out here after something like that. And the articles from the newspaper are funny, just to read the opinion section that week that they post kind of in the Reddit forums to see what people have to say about the swarm of disc golfers.
We're a different breed, that's for sure.
Shut the pizza store down.
Well, hey, my man, it's almost time for us to break out of here. Wanted to throw out some love to one of the sponsors, BrokenOakDiscGolf.com, the Broken Oak Disc Golf guy. They are. Hey, you want to announce this, Brian, or do you want me to?
Oh, I guess because he's sponsored me, I'll go ahead and announce it. So we're going to be doing. We really haven't decided what the rules are for this contest, but we're going to be doing a giveaway. So I know Distant Basket's going to be putting something in there. Broken Oak's going to be putting something in there. We'll make some type of announcement on the page, our little Yahoo group and our YouTube group. What's that? Oh yeah, show them
the prize.
Show them the prize there.
Okay, I'll show them the prize. All right. So one of the things that I do in my wood shop is I make various wooden discs, and what I'm going to do as a giveaway is if you want a logo put on the front of this or something, it's got to be legal. You got to have the rights to do it. Your logo or something on the front, and then I'll laser engrave your name in the back as well. Here's another one just to give you one that's not so rough. Yeah, so I'll make you a custom marker, and Broken Oak Disc Golf is going to throw in a disc, a one that you can throw, not like mine. So, go ahead, Brian. Finish up the finish up, Brian.
I don't know. We'll do something on the YouTube page. We'll pick a number between 1 and 50 or something along those lines.
This week's giveaway is for the to come up with a logo for us. Remember?
Oh yeah, that's right. So I'm sorry. So yeah, we're gonna come up. We're looking for a design logo for Santa and the Brain. So if you have some artistic skills, you can send your information to myself, Brian Evans, or John Herman. We'll post that information on the YouTube page, and we'll get a vote going via Facebook or something along those lines, and the winner will be announced, and we'll give you some free stuff.
Yeah, so that's this week's, because you can't be an official show without a logo. So and the Brain, with a little shiny Santa or something like that, but yeah, I'm not very creative. That's why I got a stick man for my logo. But something awesome, that'd be great. And Brian and I are both excited to watch this show grow. Thank you very much. We had 34 visitors last week, and let's see if we can double it. And you guys out in Lanesburg, Pine Hill Disc Golf Club, I look forward to coming out there and finding out what you guys got too. And
yeah, let me know when you want to come and get that rounded.
Absolutely.
It'll be soon. I don't think we're going to get too many more 50-degree days in February, but definitely the spring, early summer. So I appreciate all the info, Callan. Greg, is there anything else you want to wrap up with as far as just a web page, anything else like that you want to throw out there before we sign off?
Website's golfpinehillsgc.com. We're going to be building the disc part of it, and then hopefully we might start looking into an online store also.
Awesome.
All right. Well, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and close this show up. I'm Santa.
I'm the Brain.
And we'll see you next Sunday, 8 o'clock.
Bye, Callan. Bye, Greg.
See you guys.
See you guys.